Hello friends, in this video we will solve problems based on SFG. Also I'll tell you a shortcut method to solve SFG. So it is going to save your time. Let us begin. Now it is required, SFG problem will be given to us and they will ask you a transfer function, that is nothing but overall transfer function. So by definition we know that it is summation I equal to 1 to k ti delta I whole divided by delta, where t stands for a forward path, k indicates number of forward paths. For example, let's say k value is equal to 3. What is meant by k? K stands for total number of forward paths. So from the given SFG, we can identify very easily how many possible forward paths are there. In that case, let's say if k equal to 3, the above formula is expanded this way: t1 delta 1 plus t2 delta 2 plus t3 delta 3. This is the end, right? Let's say if k equal to 4, then we had to have extra term as t4 delta 4. But right now we'll terminate up to 3 and then this whole divided by delta. If you have seen a previous video where we have solved the problem, while solving the problem, you must have noticed that we have at least taken 10 to 15 minutes to solve the problem on SFG. But now I'm going to give you a trick to solve the similar problem within 2 minutes and not more than that. Let us see how to go about it. So this was just to give you again overall idea how to get a transfer function. So what I've done is, from the last video lecture, I have taken the last problem which we have solved in a conventional way or a traditional way. Now let me give you the approach by which you can solve it within a short span of time. So our first job is to find number of forward paths possible. So by observation you can say that there are two possible forward paths, like I can say t1 as g1, g2, g3, g4 as you can see, and you can have t2, a next forward path, as g5. So since there are two forward paths, our transfer function formula, that is nothing but overall transfer function given as C of s upon R of s, is equal to t1 delta 1 plus t2 delta 2 whole divided by what? Delta. So what I'll do is, I'll go by a block diagram method. In block diagram reduction rule, in a shortcut method, what we used to do, we used to add all forward paths. So kindly do the same here also. So let us write the numerator. I'll write the first forward path as g1, g2, g3, g4. Leave some space so as to get delta 1 value. So we don't know what is delta 1 value. We'll deal with that later on. Plus, let us write t2 now. T2 stands for a second forward path which is g5. Leave some space for delta 2. And then we have to write what? Delta. So you know what is delta? Delta is nothing but, it is 1 plus, or we would start with minus rather, summation of all loops plus summation of two non-touching loops minus summation of three non-touching loops. And as I said, it just keeps on adding, right? So let us write this 1 by default, which is nothing but a part of delta. So it is 1. Then it's a summation of all the loops, okay? So let us see what are all the loops here. So let us assume this self loop as minus h1. Let us assume L2 as minus G3H2 and L3 as minus G4H3. Am I right? So here, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to add all the loops together. That is L1 plus L2 plus L3. But L1 plus L2 plus L3, all of them are individually negative. We can take that negative sign out, and because of this negative sign, it will become positive. So it is plus. Let us do summation of all the loops. Let us take loop number 1 as positive H1, loop number 2 as G3H2, loop number 3 as G4H3. Am I right? So please don't forget, this is your L1, this is your L2, this is your L3. Am I right? But then this is not the end. So we have done with these two parts. Now rest of the two parts are left. So then we have to do summation of all two non-touching loops, right? So what we have sign over here is plus. Let us see. By observation, you can say that two non-touching loops, you can just have a pair. Again, since this is a very first sum where we are applying the shortcut method, I'm taking extra time to make you realize how to go about it. Otherwise, for rest of the sums, I'll go quickly. So let us see. Two non-touching loops are L1, L2. You can also say L1, L3. Am I right? So there are only two non-touching loops and there is no question of three non-touching loops. Therefore, we are not going to have this term, but this term we can write. So the sign over here is positive. And you know what? You have to take a product of two non-touching loops. Then individual loop is negative. So product of two non-touching loop appears to be positive. What I mean is, see, L1 is negative, L2 is negative. Product will be, of course, positive. So just take a product of L1, L2 plus L1, L3. So when you take a product of L1, L2, L1, L2 product will be G3 times H1, H2 plus L1, L3. So take a product of L1, L3 now. So L1 is minus H1 and L3 is minus G4, H3. Taking product, it is going to become positive, which is G4, H1, H3. Am I right? So let me remind you, this is your L1, L2. This is going to be a part of L1, L3. Am I right? Then you better know what we have over here is delta 1 and delta 2. And you know that again, delta 1 is same as delta. Only thing is we have to remove those loops which is touching a first forward path. The reason I'm saying first forward path because I'm talking about delta 1. Similar statement I'll make for delta 2. Delta 2 is same as delta. Only difference, you have to remove those loops which are touching the second forward path. The second forward path over here is G5. So let us write delta 1, delta 2. Look at T1. When I'm saying T1, it is G1, G2, G3, G4. So you know what? It is touching all the loops over here. Since it is touching every loop, we have to remove every time loop and therefore delta 1 will remain 1. Because after removing all types of loops from delta, what remains in delta is only 1. What about delta 2? Let us see. So observe carefully. Your T2 is the one which I'm highlighting right now. So you know what? Your L1 remains untouched. In fact, your L2 also remains untouched. Then you have to include all those terms of delta which has L1 and L2. But you have to remove that term which has L3 because L3, you know, it is getting touched at this point. Am I right? So what delta 2 will become now? You can write it. So from this delta, I'll take L1, I'll take L2, but I'm going to cancel L3 term. But I can take L1, L2. Am I right? But since the last term is L1, L3, since presence of L3, therefore I'm going to cancel this term also. So whatever terms that we have given a tick mark, I'll take only those terms and that is nothing but your delta 2. So let us write that delta 2 now. So delta 2 is simply H1 plus G3H2. So I've taken this term, this term. I cannot go for L3, but I can go for L1, L2, which is G3 times H1, H2 plus G3 times H1, H2. So that's it. So there is no as such a tedious method to be followed. This is the only way we can solve it quickly. So I'll now tell you in the next problem how to solve the problem quickly. Let us start with this. again the question is same. You have to get the overall transfer function. So I'll go this way, C of S upon R of S. In the numerator, what we have, again, summation of all forward paths. Let us take a first forward path from R of S to C of S. So you have G1, G2, G3, G4. So I'll have G1, G2, G3, G4. Generally, we always take this T1 as a forward path starting from R of S to C of S. Most of the time, it touches all the loops, or it is touching all the nodes, and therefore what we have over here is always 1 as delta 1. So I'm not saying that delta 1 is always 1, but most of the time delta 1 value is 1. Plus, let us write for T2. Then by observation you will understand that there is no T2. There is no other possible forward path. So we cannot have extra term over here. So in the numerator we have only T1 delta 1, and it is whole divided by delta. So how to write delta? Very simple. I'll take this one as loop 1. I'll take this one as loop 2. And I'll take this one as loop 3. So we have summation of L1, L2 and L3 together. Let us write the denominator. 1 plus. So what is the value of L1? L1 is G1, G2 minus H1. Let me write L1 is equal to again minus G1, G2, H1. The value of L2 is minus G3, G4, H3. And the value of L3 is minus G2, G3, H2. So these are the values of L1, L2, L3. All of them are negative. Most of the time these loops are negative, but then we will get positive sign because of the formula says it is 1 minus something. So after taking summation of L1, L2 and L3, the negative sign will come out, and that negative will become positive, and that's the reason why I've given positive sign in the denominator. Let us write summation of all. It is simply G1, G2, H1 plus G3, G4, H3 plus G2, G3, H2. So this is L1, this is L2, this is L3 plus. Now we have to sum those loops which are touching each other. In fact, those are not touching each other. So I have to write summation of 2NL. NL stands for non-touching loops. But as you can see here, every loop or the other, it is touching each other. They are sharing common nodes within them. And therefore, we cannot have, extra term for non-touching loops. And therefore, we need to terminate over here only. And this is a final transfer function. Right? Let's move to the next problem. So the next problem is appeared on the screen. The overall transfer function for the following SFG is. So as I said, let us write transfer function equal to C of S upon R of S, and now this is equal to. So let us write a first forward path. So first forward path is again G1, G2, G3, G4 towards C of S. G1, G2, G3, G4. As you can see, it is again touching all the nodes it is passing through, and therefore delta 1 value will be definitely equal to 1. You need not to even think about it now. Plus, let us write the next forward path. Next forward path, as you can see, it is G1, then going to G5, and then going to C of S. So it is G1, G5 product is your T2. So G1, G5, and then we'll leave some space over here to write delta 2. Delta 2 we will determine later once we get delta. So let us write delta now. So it is 1 plus. So you have to sum all the loops together. Let us assume this one as loop number 1. This is loop number 2. This is loop number 3. So there are total 3 loops only. Am I right? So let us write. The value of L1 is, as you can see, it is G1, G2, H1. So it is G1, G2, H1. Don't even now think about this negative H1, because you know that how ultimately it has become positive, plus L2. So let me write for a reference. This is L1. The value of L2 is G2, G3, H2. So this is your L2. let me write final loop, that is L3, which is nothing but G4 times H3. So this is your L3. Now the question is, do you find the extra loop? See carefully and let me know. Do you think there is an extra loop? If you observe carefully, I can take this loop also. Look at the way I'm highlighting. Can you see? This is also giving you a loop. So I would say this is a special loop I got, that is loop number 4. So what is loop number 4? Just check it out. It is G5 times minus H3 times minus H2. Eventually it will become positive. So L4 is equal to G5 times H2 H3. Am I right? So you got this as extra loop here. But please don't forget, since your L4 is positive, what will appear over here in the denominator of delta, that is nothing but in delta formula itself, it will become negative. I hope you understood my point. So it is minus G5 times H2 H3. So this is your L4. I hope you understood L1, L2, L3, L4. Please remember, your L1 was originally negative, therefore it has become positive. Your L2 was also negative, therefore this has become positive. Your L3 was also negative, it has become positive here. And since your L4 was already positive, because of the negative sign, here it has become negative. So again, delta is not over. First part is over. We have to see which loops are non-touching loops. Okay, so here I would say there is only one pair of non-touching loop, that is L1 L3. Okay, as I said, in most of the SFG, just by looking at the figure you will come to know which loops are not touching each other. So here L1 L3 are non-touching loops. Then I would say plus L1 into L3. So what is L1? L1 is G1 G2 H1 multiplied by L3, which is G4 times H3. So that's it. Now this has become the final delta value. So what was this? This is nothing but your L1 L3. Am I right? So you know what? We know what is delta 1 here. What we need to do is delta 2. Don't forget this is T2. If you remember, delta 2 is nothing but a delta. I repeat, delta 2 is nothing but a delta. But then we have to remove those loops which are touched by T2, that is second forward path. So look at a second forward path. So if you look at this second forward path, it is like this. Is that right? So with the second forward path, can I say L1 is touched? So I need to cancel L1. In fact, L2 is also touched. In fact, L3 is also touched. And there is no question of taking L4 also, because L4 is also getting touched. So all the loops we have to remove. Finally, what we have again as delta 2 is 1. So again, delta 2 value is simply equal to 1. I hope you understood this. If not, I can just make you understand it again. So I'll just remove a few things here, so as to give you a more clarity on this. So let me remind you, this is your loop number 1. This is your loop number 2. This is your loop number 3. And loop number 4, you know very well how we have taken that loop. And now let me talk about your T2 path. So T2 path is this one, that it is G1 times G5. Am I right? So you know what? Because it is touching this loop, or it is touching this node, therefore we have to cancel L1. Is that right? Then since L2 also we have to remove because this node is also shared. L3 also we have to cancel because this node is also shared. And you know what? This G5 itself is a part of L4. So there is no question of taking L4 also. So you know what? L1, L2, L3 as well as L4, all the loops are touched by T2, and therefore the value of delta 2 has become 1 again. So I have repeated it just to give you a clarity again on delta 2. and rest of the things I'm sure you must have understood. I'm sure you have understood how we have obtained our delta also. Let us go to the next problem. Unlike other problems, this problem is quite a different. Why it is different? It is different because your gains are given numerically. I mean, they have not specified G1, G2, G3, G4 or in terms of edge. They have given numerical values this time. So there is absolutely no problem. The way we write G1, G2, G3, G4, maybe in this case it is 1 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 4 and we have to take a product of it. So answer what we get as compared to other questions, it would be in the form of a numerical answer. Let us try to solve this. So what I'll do over here, I'll first of all note down all the possible forward paths. T1, as you can see, it is 1 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 4. So after taking a product, you'll understand it is 24. Then look at T2, the second possible forward path. So what I'll do is, I'll start with this 1, then 5, then 2, and then C of S. That is, take C of S here and this is R of S. So it is 5 to the, which is 10. So the value of T2 is 10. And then you should understand that there is no other possible forward path. So the formula remains like this: T1 delta 1 plus T2 delta 2 whole divided by delta. Very simple. I'm sure you understood this. Now I'm going to talk about loops here. Let me assume this as loop number 1. Let me assume this is loop number 2. Let me assume this loop as loop 3. I hope you understood what is loop 3 I'm talking about. Let me say this self loop as loop number 4. And there is one more loop which I'll consider loop number 5. So once we're done with L1, L2, L3, L4, then I'll let you know about L5 also. So there are 5 loops. We have to take care of all the loops. So L1 is this one, which is -3. L2, so we have to take this loop. So it is 4 into -1, comes out to be -4. L3, so L3 is this way. 2 3s are 6, 6 4s are 24 into -1 becomes -24. L4, which is the self loop, which is -0.5. I hope you understood. Now let me talk about L5. So look at L5 now. I'll start from here. So loop is something, it makes sure that you come back to the same point again without overriding a particular node or a particular branch like this. So what I have highlighted, 5, 2 and -1. Take a product of it. 5 2s are 10. 10 into -1 is -10. So L5 comes out to be -10. So now we have values of L1, L2, L3, L4 and L5 also. Let us first of all substitute whatever we have. So first of all, T1, which is 24, we'll leave some space for delta 1 plus T2, it is 10. Again, we will leave some space in order to specify delta 2. And in denominator, we have to write what? Delta only, right? So it is like this, 1 plus. Why plus? Because all the loops over here are negative. And we know that it is like this, 1 minus summation of all loops. So summation of all loops comes out to be negative, and this negative will become positive. Therefore, I'm writing plus here. So this is something that we have already discussed, right? So it is, just go on adding all the loops. It is 3 plus 4 plus 24 plus 0.5 plus 10. Is it right? Then plus. Then you have to write summation of two non-touching loops here, right? So let us see which pairs we have as two non-touching loops. So by observation, you should understand that a first non-touching loop or two non-touching loops, I would say, it is nothing but L1, L4. This is the first pair I have. Second pair, I can go for L2 and L4. Is that right? Next, I can in fact say L3 and L4. This is the third pair of two non-touching loops. Is that right? And then we have only one more option, that is L5 and L1. Please look at L5 and L1. You will understand that they are not touching each other. L5 is the one which we have considered this loop. If you remember, this is nothing but your L5. So thing which is now I have highlighted in black color, it is L5 and L1. They are not touching each other because they are not sharing common nodes. So I can take the another pair, which is L1, L5. So now just take a product of L1, L4. L1 is negative, L4 is negative. Of course, product will be positive. So it is minus 3 into minus 0.5 comes out to be 1.5. So product comes out to be 1.5. L2, L4 will become 2. L3, L4 will become 12. And L1 into L5 will become 30. Am I right? So this is what we'll keep on summing now. So don't forget, this is L1, L2, L3, L4 and L5. Now we have to sum all two non-touching loops gain. So the first term is L1, L4, which is 1.5, L2, L4, which is 2, L3, L4, which is 12, and finally L1, L5, which is 30. So just for reference, I'll write down over here what are they. So this is L1, L4, this is your L2, L4, next term is L3, L4, and the last one is L1, L5. Don't forget, this 24 is your T1 and this 10 is your T2. Am I right? So look at T1. T1 is 24. I'll remind you how this 24 has come. So here again I have shown L1, L2, L3, L4, L5. Let me talk about delta 1. You know what? Delta 1 is same as delta. Only thing, you have to remove those loops which are touched by T1, where T1 stands for a first forward path. Let me again tell you where is the first forward path. So first forward path is this one. This is a first forward path, am I right? So as you can see, we cannot go for L1, we cannot go for L2, rather we cannot go for L3 also, we cannot even go for L5 also. So only one loop is left, which is L4, which remains untouched. So I can go for L4 here. So definitely one will come because it is a part of delta. Then plus what will come? L4, and the value of L4 is 0.5. Is right? So 1 and 0.5. So 1 plus L4 I have taken as a part of it. L1 I have cancelled out, L2 cancelled out, L3 cancelled out. Obviously, if L1 is cancelled out, L1, L4 has gone, L2, L4 has gone, L3, L4 has gone, L1, L5 has also gone. So what is left in the denominator is 1 plus 0.5, and therefore delta 1 is 1 plus 0.5. Let's see what comes as delta 2. So let us see what is T2 first. So T2 was this one, that is 5 multiplied by 2, which is 10. Am I right? In this case, we cannot have L4. So L4 we need to cancel. But at the same time, I can go for L1. If you can notice, I can go for L1 because L1 is untouched. So here, what I can write is 1 plus L1 only, where I can write 1 plus the value of L1 is 3. Of course, it is minus 3, but in delta, it has become positive. Is that right? So whatever I have noted down over here is a numerator and denominator. Just solve it and say to it whether you get 76 by 88 as final answer. I'm sure you have understood each and everything. Thank you.